Trendsetter.
What up? You know what it is, man. Your boy TrendsetterSense, Rhythm and Streets. We got a good one, man. Good one, man. These brothers, they dropping a lot of knowledge. They got a whole movement. The skits going crazy. I'm talking about, I know my one brother for years. My other brothers, my first time meeting them, man. But I love what he got going on. They go viral. They doing their thing. The music is crazy, and they got a lot to talk about. They got a big message they want to talk about. I'm talking about Translee Grey, PBD Grey, man. What's up, my brothers, man?
Yes, sir, man.
What's happening?
Thanks for having us, bro.
Yes, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, happy to be here, man.
Yes, sir, man.
Yeah.
Talk about it, man. I need to know the evolution of this collaboration right here, man. Tell me how it came together.
Man. So I probably met Gray. It's probably been about 6 years ago, probably somewhere around that time. I first saw him performing at Apache, the old
old school,
the old one.
Yeah.
And rarely do I see artists that are, not to pat my own self on the back, but see artists that get my attention, like rappers, especially rappers.
Yeah.
Rarely does that happen. I remember seeing him perform, like, that dude dope. That dude dope. And then I remember he came off the stage and he came up to me and we actually chopped it up. And that was my first time meeting him. But over the years, my manager, Chris Hunter, ended up managing him too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then it's like they met and connected, and then he started managing him, and then that's when I was like, that's dope. That's a great person for you to manage too.
Yeah.
And so after that, now, because Chris also is our engineer, so now we're at the studio together. so like naturally we started doing songs together, and just to kind of fast forward in the story, last year, around about this time last year, we sat down and got very intentional about doing freestyles together and dropping at least once a week. We're gonna drop a freestyle once a week, you know, and then that kind of, you know, it kind of grew legs from there, because probably on like the third week, because we're two artists that are also, we haven't made it yet, so we also got to work jobs. We also got to find different ways to make money outside of rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't say you haven't made it yet. I mean, y'all got very good brands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you like whatever it takes to get them resources going.
To get the resources going. Yeah. Thanks for correcting me on that.
Nah. I'm just a compliment.
Yeah,
you know
thank you.
No.
So
I mean, I've been a fan of this man music since my partner back in like 2014. He told me to check out a CD, and I just happened to come across that like a car wash, man. And I put it in. It was the first CD I ain't pressed next for in a long time. So I was like, who the hell is this? I thought I was the hottest shit going. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I listened to the whole project, and I just seen him sitting by the bar one day, and it's different. We have different accounts on how we met each other, but we linked up, man, and told him I was a fan, and then we had similar managers, and yeah, man, top of the year, I was like, look, bro, we gonna get together, bro. We gonna drop a freestyle every week, dog, for 52 weeks. If we do that shit, man, like we gonna have a different conversation on the other end. Like,
wow.
It's like we dope as fuck apart, but like together, you know what I'm saying, we'll go farther, bro.
Yeah,
you
man.
know what I'm saying?
So like I'm watching is that how the evolution of the skits came about? Like y'all just took the freestyle to the skits, or like how did that come about?
It really started with him. He was like, man, okay, one of the freestyles, cause I just like picking the latest beat, and I just pop shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's like, man, you gotta say something, man. What we gonna say? Like, man, we should talk about getting a job. And I was like, my first instinct was like, man, hell no, like, yeah, that's cool, but no, let's just rap on something else. He said it again. I was like, bro, just start it. If you just started out, you know what I'm saying, I'll finish the verse, whatever. So he started the flow, and then that content that we produced was
crazy.
Got a lot of engagement, and that really, the comments really jump-started the series. We didn't have it in mind. It just like, freestyle.
It was like a one-shot situation.
One-shot thing.
Yeah.
And that first one didn't even really start the whole storyline. Like, that one was just like, it was like a storyline in itself, but it lived by itself. And then it was like, okay, the next one we're gonna do is DoorDash or Uber Eats. So the next one we're gonna go inside the grocery store and we rapping back and forth.
Yeah.
And that one went even more viral.
Ah.
So the next one we like, okay, we're gonna act like I'm a Uber driver and you getting in an Uber, jumping in. We was going back and forth like that. And then the Uber one, when he got out the car, in the Uber one, all the comments were like, "Wait, where'd he go?
Right,
like,
right.
You know,
Oh, okay.
Where'd he go? Like you just dropped him off. He's going to meet the plug or something.
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
Yeah.
So then we was like, oh, so now we got to keep the storyline going.
Yeah.
Man. So, because he told me, he said, look, the second that we do this, that we put this out, and I get out this car, we in trouble because people gonna want to know what's next.
Oh,
we
so y'all, you knew it was gonna be like
man,
that.
I knew it, man.
Because the Uber one went even more viral than that one went the craziest. Like that one went probably the craziest. And so we were trying to figure out like, okay, where were you going? What were you going to get? What were you going to pick up? We don't want to just be regular like drugs or like what plug were you going to meet?
Right.
So we hit up Princess from Crime Mob. And was like, hey, you gonna be the plug, and he's picking up counterfeit money. And that was our best idea. So she was super down with it. And
shout out to Princess.
Shout out to Princess, man. She came in and killed her part. And that kind of started the storyline, and we kept it going for like 9 weeks.
We were on our heels for 9 weeks.
We was on our heels for 9 weeks.
Break it down. What you mean, like on your heels? Like,
man, we'll drop that. We dropped the one with Princess.
Yeah.
As soon as we dropped that one, I told him, I said, bro, if we continue this storyline, we're gonna have a frenzy on our hands. They're gonna be like, okay, what can't wait to the next one? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the expectations are gonna get higher every week.
Higher. Like we cannot miss a week.
Yeah.
So we dropped the next one, and then what was the one after the Princess one?
Princess is the one.
That was the one where dude. I think dude. Look, I don't went through all of them. I think it was the
Not the robbery.
It wasn't the robbery?
The one where we was sitting in the car
counting the money.
Counting the money, yeah.
So we like, okay, now we got to come up with a storyline. So we'll watch the content for 2-3 days, like, man, this getting light. We're not even thinking about the next storyline.
Yo, that's
Here
fun.
comes Wednesday, like, oh man, we got to think about
the next one, yeah. Because it got to drop on Friday. And the thing is like, you got to think of the storyline, then you got to write it. Then anybody you got involved, you got to schedule it with them, and make sure that they can come, show up, and shoot it. You know what I mean? So that was kind of the
run and shoot type.
Yeah, we was running gunning it.
That's what I mean.
Like we shot it all. I edited every last video.
Really?
Oh man, what?
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Every video that you've seen us do.
Man. If you need your video edited, man, hit Translee up. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's simple. I ain't like massive with it, but
nah, he cold with it, man.
So like, it's funny that you're talking about the cliffhanging thing. So like every time, it's so funny because y'all so creative. The next story, like it matches the previous story, but then it's like it's a whole new like it's like it's a cliffhanger every time. So how far ahead did y'all go with it? Like
we was 1 week and 1 week in it, dog. Like we literally would have to think of, and like you said, have to leave, figure out okay, what can make a cliffhanger at the end. Like how do we were really like, now that I think about it, we were like masterful storytelling. You know what I mean?
It was,
because the art of leaving a cliffhanger is probably the hardest part because you know, and doing that in rhyme.
Right.
In rhyme, I think was when we hit our sweet spot. And so but we were week to week in it.
Wow.
Like literally every week, like soon as we got free for that day, whatever our day thing was we needed to do, as soon as we got done, we was at the studio. And shout out to our homie Biz, who really grew, like he grew into an inseparable part of our team because like during that time period, Biz was recording us, opening up his doors to his crib and letting us record at any time. Like he was real, like, you know, flexible with us to help us, and he would also hold the camera. Shout out to our homie Sanchez, will hold the camera too.
Sanchez, yes sir.
And we were just figuring it out. So then we after the one we was sitting in the car, it's like, okay, this is gonna be the best cliffhanger. We sitting there counting the money. It needs to be a cat over here watching us. So shout out to KP. He's a big artist out of Philly.
Shout out to him.
He has some crazy. He has some crazy content too, and so. that's when I feel like it just kind of upped the level because it was like, okay, now people are watching this like a real movie.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like a series. It's like a Netflix. Like you like, oh, you leaving them off, and then you know what's next.
Yeah.
And that drives me to this point because the messages that y'all have, you know what I mean? Like before we even turned the cameras on, you was like, you know, getting the message across and displaying that message, and that's why we here to explain that all on this platform. Man, talk about like, even though y'all doing the skits, it wasn't like it was empty. Like you got some information out of it. Like tell me y'all process behind that.
I don't think we know how to do it any other way.
Yeah.
Like I think that's us to the core.
Right.
It's always got to mean something. It has to evoke some type of emotion, or it doesn't move us to do it.
Right.
You know, so I think going into it from the job aspect, because so many artists have jobs, but they don't talk about it.
And it's like, is it like it's like being ashamed or something like that, or like?
Well, I think it's a stigma on it. Like if you rap and you put on this persona, like most rappers are in the videos flexing money and doing all these different things. So job, no, like I'm not even gonna talk about that because I have this image. So like we wanted to kind of strip that and make people relate to it. And it's hard to find anything that relates more than money. So like when people relate to that, you know, it just took off for us. I think.
Yeah, I mean, just putting the medicine in the candy. You know, just trying creative ways to do that. Since I mean, it's just naturally, I feel like it's our duty too. You know what I'm saying? To educate and use this forum to empower and educate in the ways that reach the audience best, which is ironically music. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I don't think it was like something where we like, okay, this week we're gonna talk about say no to drugs. Next week we're gonna say like, you know what I mean? It just happened to be a message in it. I think there was some times where we was like, well, we could talk about this, but man, it'd be harder if we leaned and highlighted the pitfalls of this. You know what I'm saying? We're like, oh, you know what? You are right. Let's throw that into the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it would evolve like that.
Do you feel like there's a lack of responsibility in hip hop or in the culture behind that? Like, what's your thoughts on that? You know, because you talked about Translee, you was talking about like, I ain't want to say that. And then Gray, you know, you was talking about like, we always feel like we had to put that in there because that's us. Like, tell me about like the responsibility behind that and how y'all felt compelled to speak on it.
I feel like there's absolutely, you have a responsibility as an artist, number one, hip hop, number two, you know. But I feel like it's lost. It's been lost for some time now. Everyone who understands the core of what hip hop came from, the history, they know the responsibility that it has. And I think it's just, we just have to be the best, the example that you want to see, so to say. You know what I mean? When it comes to that, as far as what are we adding to this game? You know what I'm saying? As opposed to taking from it, like how can we creatively add to it and then influence at the same time, you know? So.
Yeah.
Translee, what about you?
I think that the responsibility is definitely lost, but I mean, when you look at what's heavily funded in this business, then it's hard to blame the artist. You know, because if you rap about certain things, and I think the things with no substance are funded the most in this business. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, talk about it.
It's funded the absolute most. You rarely see artists like us with the message that we have. Actually, name one. I'll give y'all time. Name one. I got all day. Name one. One that's heavily funded outside of maybe J. Cole or somebody like that, or maybe like a Kendrick. Name one.
Yeah.
That's heavily funded, you know, and pushed like they should be.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of a risk for us being artists who can rap about anything, but keeping that, you know, to the core. Like I've had literally somebody tell me, yo, I was gonna kill myself until I smoked the blunt and listened to your album, and that's why I'm still here today.
Wow.
And when I hear things like that, man, I don't care nothing about nothing else but more of that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
You know, as far as like having a heavy responsibility, I know he is too, of having that responsibility of not doing it in a boring way either.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what
like
I mean?
It's creativity behind it.
Creativity
it feel
behind
good.
it.
The bars are dope. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's like being creative with the bars and giving them something, because I feel like as you grow in rap, it's about the experience that you're providing people. So it's like, you know, the way we've been kicking that storyline, like you got 18-year-olds that love it because they can connect with it, because everybody connects with a storyline.
Right.
So, you know, it's just figuring out different ways to get attention without sounding like, oh, that's them. They rip hip hop, bebop, rapping ass niggas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nah, they fire.
Yeah.
So I think that's the balance that we found in it, you know, to a certain degree.
So we've been talking about it. Like, you feel like there's obviously an agenda behind pushing like the negative energy when it comes to the culture and comes to music. Where do you guys feel like the state of the game is at this point, and where you feel like it's gonna go?
I think it's at a point where like our generation, we got to reach back, because the generation before us didn't reach to us, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we put these kids in that. We told them it was cool to bust guns, sell drugs, pop mollies. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
They went and did that shit.
Wow.
So they doing it, and
To
it's
the
like
1,000th degree.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And the OGs ain't doing what, you know what I'm saying, reaching across that table and really, because they haven't evolved either. You see what I'm saying? You got a lot of grown men still rapping like they in the street, you know what I mean? Like, not they grown boy, you know what I mean?
Wow, you spitting something right now.
So they can't. So it's like that just goes back to, man, we just gotta we gotta show them how to rap on these beats. We gotta show them the shit. Drop the shit in medicine and candy. Get them hip to the shit they supposed to be hip on, and disregard the bullshit, you know. But I think like it's a great space because obviously the quality at the commercial level is dropped, you know what I'm saying? Like, because back in the day, you wouldn't sign the artist that wasn't all the way polished first, you know what I'm saying? When the first time we hearing him, he got his stage show together, got rhymes together. Now we watching artists like go from their infancy stage and blah, 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 you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they just kids, you know what I'm saying? So we get to watch it all the way through right now. So I wouldn't say hip hop is in a terrible state. I think hip hop is very much alive. There's dope ass artists that still get the elements of it and carrying it forward. But we just have to, instead of pointing the finger, like, we just got to do more leading, more showing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and more taking that step to gap the bridge. Really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Why do you feel like there isn't enough accountability within because you were saying that, like, a certain point of finger pointing and not like mirror looking. You get what I'm saying? Like, why is it not enough mirror looking and
Because why? When the check come in, why?
it's like ignore it.
Yeah, what I'm gonna mess my check up for? Like literally, you got. I hate to say names.
No, go ahead.
But literally, you got artists like Meek Mill, who I highly respect. I think he's a super talented artist. But you literally have him on one end saying they pay us to rap about these things. We get paid more to rap about these
That's
things.
a fact. Yep.
He literally said that out his mouth.
Right.
And then at the same time, he dropped a project talking about getting people killed. That, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, why I'm gonna slow my money up?
Right.
You know. So I think for real change to actually happen, I think people are gonna have to lose some money. You know what I mean? But that I don't see that happening no time soon.
So that's the carrot and the donkey right there. It's like,
yeah,
you know, like you could, but
I mean,
are you willing to make that sacrifice?
And I think that's what D1 is doing right now.
Okay, shout out to him.
He's already been he's been a Christian rapper since forever.
Yeah.
So he's not sacrificing anything, but I think he's the first one running over the mountain, taking all the hits for just speaking
that's
out
real rap.
about it, you know, because a lot of people are saying like, oh, you shouldn't say names, and I'm hesitant to do that too, because at the end of the day, I respect everybody doing their thing.
I get you, yeah.
You know, but it takes somebody to call out what's going on, call out the hypocrisy that's going on in the industry for it to sort of heal itself.
Yeah. Do you think it's beyond the industry? Do you think it's like the state of what's going on right now?
What's going on? Yeah.
Beyond. It's like, is it the industry just like one of those tools, you know, the entertainment?
I think it always went beyond, you know what I'm saying? To what influences the artist to write and talk about whatever he writes about, you know. Again, man, I just think because if we all knew how hip hop was really born, like these young, like if there was a TikTok, a minute and 30 TikTok showing the history of how it was born, what it was used for, the year it took that turn, and everything that came after, and everything that's tied to the music industry, private prisons, and
we should do a freestyle
and the
about
power
that.
of music. Like if you can see that in a minute and 30, you'll take a step back and be like, whoa, okay, hold up,
Bro, we gotta do
like
a freestyle
dog
about that.
You know what I mean?
Got to.
Man,
We gotta do a
Got
freestyle
to,
about
right?
that.
Yeah, got to.
'Cause-
Nah, let it be known right here is when we came up with it.
That's already spoken into
Yeah, you know
existence.
You know what I'm saying? Like, got to, man, because if we understood how powerful this fucking genre of music is, we would not play with it like we do, dog. Like, everybody has learned their ABCs from music. There's no reason or there's no coincidence that hip hop is the #1 genre in the world. It's in everything. It went pop. Like, they know why. And it's the most manipulative, you know what I'm saying? So, I just wish we understood that, man, because if we did, we would understand the power of words and our true power, you know what I'm saying, and what we could do. But at the end of the day, man, we just gotta continue doing what we do, put the medicine in the candy, man, and add to the culture, man. Like,
That's right, man. Translee and Grey in the building, man. Let's get into this album. First of all, what led into the album? Was it from the skits, or like was y'all working on it at the same time? Talk about the evolution of that.
So a couple of the songs were from, because like once we finished the 9-week series, we still kept on dropping the freestyle every week, because that was that's like our bread and butter. Yeah. And we still try to. So a couple of the songs that are on the project were from those just freestyles that were the times that we got on our own beats, because people liked them so much. Like, where can I get these? And so, you know, eventually it's all leading up to us dropping a whole project at some point. You know, so you know, I think that we feel so confident about ourselves and our ability that the name of the project, I Know We Ain't Tripping. Yeah. It's like a thing of like, yo, we see all this attention, we see the engagement that it's getting. We the hardest, I know we ain't tripping, dog. Like, I know I ain't tripping. I know you ain't tripping, dog. Like, that's kind of where that name came from. And
I love the title, by the way.
Going back to us getting our worth, we said we're not gonna drop it the regular way that people have been doing.
Exactly. I was gonna get into that.
Because of how the business is. Okay. Especially for independent artists. Okay. You know, we're devalued at every turn in this business. So
what you mean? Like, give me an example.
Working for a whole year, writing incredible music, and then you send it to your distro company. Oh yeah. And then they're gonna take a percentage, rightfully so. They're distributing it out, and then each DSP is gonna give you a special type of crumb that they feel like giving you. You know what I mean? And you can do all this work and then have a lot of popularity, because you can have a lot of streams and still can't even pay your bills. Yeah. You know, and then so many artists out here are super popular, and they go home for Thanksgiving and they family don't know why. Why you ain't rich yet? Why you ain't? Yeah. Because I'm not getting my worth, really. Right. I'm getting the fame. Right. I'm getting the accolades. Right. But the money is not coming with it. You know, so I think getting back to that direct to consumer model is key, so that the people that really love and support you, because before this, they think like, oh, I'm streaming your project on Apple Music, I'm supporting you.
Right.
You're supporting Apple Music.
Ooh, good
You know
point.
what I mean? You're really supporting them.
Good point.
Now, you're getting it out there more. So, you know, that's the good thing. And that can create show money. But a direct point of access for them actually being able to support the actual album and the actual music, the actual art,
Yeah.
it was lost until, you know, companies like Even, you know, you can always sell it yourself or sell them out the trunk.
Right.
But a company like Even is so dope because they're popularized enough to where people feel comfortable to go and shop with you on there. You know, it's kind of hard to go TransleePBDGrey.com and go buy an album. People might be a little hesitant.
I see what
But
you're saying.
when people have recognized Even
it's like,
in other places, they know Russell uses it. They know a
Yeah.
lot of artists are starting to use it. It's a little
See
more
Dame
comfortable.
Dollar on there.
Dame,
Seen
Dame
Ryan
is
Leslie
on there.
was on there.
Yes, he just
Yeah,
dropped.
yeah.
Project Pat just dropped on there. A lot of artists are starting to drop on there. So it makes it a lot more comfortable for people to feel like, okay, that's an app I can go to, or that's a site I can go to and support. You know, so
So you're talking about Even.biz, correct?
Even.biz.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to tell Trans like before, in 2020, that's when I first got the taste of like that physical release success. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like I used to follow this artist. Shout out to David Sebastian.
Okay.
He's an artist out of LA, and I seen this brother like release a project for $7.77. He releases it. He makes $15K in one day.
Wow.
Right, like off streaming.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, what the hell is this man doing, dog?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I tapped in, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna release all my freestyles on like a USB in 2020. So I did that, trying to follow the same model. I seen like 12 grand in 1 month. So I was like, dog, Trans, I'm telling you, drop a fucking CD, bro. They are buying this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I didn't see I'm like, CDs or like, you know, like USB, like to me, and that's just because I was stuck in my own mind of like, I don't listen to music that way.
Right.
But the supporters, they just want a piece of
you.
You know?
Of physical, like whether they listen to it or not, they just want to say they got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they
So-
stripped us of that nostalgia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we used to rip open that CD,
Yeah, that whole
open it up,
experience.
read the back,
Yeah.
the producers, all that
Yeah.
stuff. So when we fast forward now you seeing artists like LaRussell, obviously, you know what I'm saying, influenced the drop on Even. But I said this before, it's like the revolutionary business models for artists. And we gotta take heed, man, because we getting raped on the streaming. You get raped in bad business deals that you don't know business,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Because it's just business at the end of the day. But now we have, you know, the access to technology, the access to, we can really create a community and cut the middleman out, but you know, someone's got to show us how it's done. So
Right.
that's why I like these new artists that are being transparent and showing us how it's done. So when we seen that, we're like, man, how much he made? Oh, no, brother. We were dropping this on Even this time.
Yeah.
Them bills is due, man.
Yeah, like I was so inspired towards the end of last, you know, everybody post their Spotify numbers. And that's genius of Spotify. That's their like competitive advantage because they know no other Apple can't do that because it's way less numbers because more people are on Spotify. So it's genius of them to do that every year. But whenever LaRussell posted his Even numbers, he was like, I like seeing y'all Spotify numbers, but I love my Even numbers even more. And that right there was just like a ding that goes off in your head. It's like, why are we not doing that?
Yeah.
You know, so we and Even's big on transparency.
Okay.
I was less on that. Like to me, if it was up to me, I wouldn't like want to post like how much we made off of it to everybody. But it's actually genius because for one, it inspires other artists to see the process.
Right.
And I think people just love transparency.
Yeah.
Like love to see like, oh, this is how much, because like we're at, I think like almost 7K in like a little over one month.
Wow.
And it tells you how many streams we would have had. We would have had to have 2 million streams
That's crazy.
just to make
That's
that
crazy.
much on streaming.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's off of 300 people supporting them.
And then and
supporting the
also
actual
like
project.
people could pick their own price.
They can pick
Yeah,
their
you
own
pay
price.
what you
Yeah,
want.
so it's like, well, I want to show them more love. Like
We've had about
Exactly.
15, 16 people pay $100 for it.
Wow.
Yeah, out
love,
of that
man.
300, the but the average price people are paying is like $22.
Right. Yeah.
But which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know,
Bro.
and so I just think that's a great model, the whole pay what you want model, because it allows the people who, like I said, I was gonna kill myself until I listen to your
That's
project.
crazy.
People like that connect differently with the music, and they might, you know, if they got it, they might want to support in a bigger way. So not limiting yourself to, oh, it's $10, $12 flat, you know.
Right.
But like, I think it starts off at 10. I think when they go on there and look, it'll have $10, and they gotta delete that 10 and put their actual price in.
Yeah.
So I think that's just a beautiful model of where the business should go.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely
or should,
think like,
you know.
my bad. I definitely think like it's necessary and that artists need to get hip to doing that physical release before, you know what I'm saying? Before releasing it to streaming, because even if your goal is you want to get signed, dog, don't worry about the commercial success. Talk to your audience first, bro.
Yes.
Grow
Yes.
your audience first, dog.
Bars.
Grow your 3 to 6, your 6 to 18, your 18 to 36. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then once you got 3,000, then go sit down. Now you got more leverage. You know that at the snap of your finger, you can pull 3,000 people out. Focus on that shit first.
Yes.
Your brand, man. You know. And a lot of times we like, man, we want all the glitz and glam. We want to be on Coachella. We want to be on all the big stages. We want to be on all this. No, dog. Like, focus on growing them 5 people to 10, dog. And I promise you that you're going to eat forever.
Because
You know what I'm saying?
literally 1,000 loyal fans, you can eat forever.
Wow.
Like literally, because they gonna buy your merch, they gonna buy your everything. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You got 1,000 people that will loyally buy whatever you drop. You drop a $30 hoodie, that's 30 racks. Just
Right.
like that. You
Facts.
know what I mean? So it's like you gotta think about it like that. I heard somebody talking about Wiz several years ago. They was like, he can drop a single for 99 cents. This is back whenever people was doing like iTunes singles. And it was like, he might do okay, but if he drops a hoodie that's $70, $80, it's gonna sell out in the first hour. You know
Wow.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that's because he has a solid fan base of people that are going to support whatever you're doing.
Right.
And it's showing us that way because the same people that's buying his merch is buying my merch, is buying our merch,
Yes.
and they're buying the album.
Yeah, that's the beauty of like the collaboration. And I also wanted to dive in because, of course, y'all both individual artists and y'all have this collaboration. Talk about y'all individual brands. Like I see both of y'all sporting both of y'all individual brands right now. Inner Peace out of Glow, Plant-Based Dope.
Plant-based dripping.
Plant-based
but
dripping.
this actually Plant Some P. This is our collaborative brand right
Oh, that's
here.
the collaborative brand. Yeah. Break it down, man. Let them know.
Don't
Look
leave
at-
home without it, though. Don't leave home without it, though.
That's hard.
I started my brand back in 2016 when I transitioned my diet. And
I was going to talk to you about that too.
You know what I mean?
Because
Like-
you just fresh off a detox too, right?
yeah, a couple of days ago I
Yeah.
did a 2-day detox.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Survived that. That was my first one
Survived
ever. But I started my brand like in 2016. I went vegan, and I did a freestyle in the car that went viral. And how the video was portrayed came off as like kind of cool, and it made people like interested in a vegan lifestyle that I didn't know anything about until I tried. You know what I mean? Went. So I wanted to create a brand that had that same effect. I didn't want it to be like vegan. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted it to be cool because I thought once I went vegan, man, listen, bro, my blood pressure went down.
Yeah.
My skin got clear. Like my mental got clearer. I just thought that shit was cool as hell. So I was like, I want to make a brand that makes healthy being cool.
How long
You know
have
what
you
I'm
been vegan?
saying? 7 years now.
7 years? And what made you like decide that that's what you want to?
Chef Nikki in the mix. Shout out to my woman, Chef Nikki in the mix. She had a love for animals. She would watch these PETA videos. I'm like, stop watching that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then one day she watched it. She's like, we're going vegan. I was like, yeah, you going vegan. And come back home that night, she made Cajun chicken Alfredo. So I'm like, I told you we ain't going vegan. Like, baby, just stop watching them videos. Ate like 3 bites. She's like, this is vegan. I was like, stop playing. The chicken was Gardein chicken. She had the vegan Alfredo. So I was like, if we go vegan like this, shit, I'll do this, but I'm not eating grass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And man, within 3 months, I watched that girl transform my kitchen, and I was fully transitioned, man. And So yeah, that's where it started.
Yo, you gotta be a really, really good cook when it comes to vegan cooking, man.
sure.
Like I tried it. I think I'm a pretty good cook. But when I tried it vegan style,
Yeah.
it's a whole different
It's a
animal. bro.
whole
Yeah.
other beast.
It's like that's two things they don't tell you, man. You got to do you got to cook or you got to find somebody that cooks.
Yeah.
Like either somebody cooking for you or you because you going out and buying vegan like fast food or whatever or hot place, whatever you want to do, bro, you gonna go broke. You know what I'm saying? Like you are gonna have to learn it. You know.
One key thing you said to transition your kitchen.
Yeah.
Like you gotta. It's a lot of stuff you gotta go and throw out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before you can even start going down that path.
Inner peace out of glow, man. Talk to him.
Man, so people have asked me over the years, like, "Oh, are you gonna sell merch?" And I was never really big on just like putting my name on a shirt or like putting an album on my shirt or whatever, because I just didn't. That wasn't really my thing. But after the pandemic, me and a special lady in my life, we were sitting down and doing vision boards, and I wanted to do some type of T-shirt or something that had the word peace in it, and we were just sitting down writing, and I just wrote "Inner Peace, Outer Glow." It's kind of like a bar, really.
Right.
And wrote it down, and I took a picture of it in my phone, got it digitized, and then called one of my good friends up who owns really one of the first other black-owned brands that I used to support. It's called Life Journeys. I still support it, but back then it's the only black-owned brand I really wore. Shout out my partner Chris Hudson, and was like, hey, let's do like some type of collab. I got this idea, Inner Peace, Outer Glow. Let's just see how it goes. And he was like, bet. He's like, well, we can just, like, I'll put my logo on the sleeve. You put Inner Peace, Outer Glow on the shirt. And that first month we dropped it. This is like February 2021. We coming up on 3 years.
Wow.
It went crazy that first month.
Yeah.
And like crazy to the point of like, I never really made this much money in a month, especially off selling something.
Yeah.
So I was sold, and it was even less about how much it made, but it was more about the reaction people was having. Like how he asked people that hit him up, and it's like his brand has been life-changing to them. Like people come on our lives and be like, Gray, you made me change my life 3 years ago. I went vegan, and it's life-changing.
Yeah.
So us keeping in that same space, so like I started getting those type of reactions like, hey, every time I wear this shirt, it makes me feel better. It brightens my day. It brightens other people's day when they see it. And that's kind of how it started. And then me, and shout out to Chelsea, the girl I told you I was doing the vision boards with. We kind of went in, because she's like a whiz on the computer and setting up websites. I'm illiterate. So she sat down, created the site, and then probably May 2021 is when we launched.
Okay.
Separate from my homie's brand, because he was letting us live on his site for a while, but after a while he was like, all right, you got to get your own thing.
That's funny.
So yeah, we did it, and we've been pushing ever since, and like trying to be intentional about doing like events, like yoga events, mental health awareness events, to help sell the brand. And like one of my biggest ways of marketing is I don't want to just be slapping pictures of shirts in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Like I wanted to get content of people talking about what it means to them. And so that was one of the things. And one of the biggest thing I learned from Gray is, because he had plant-based dripping way before I had my brand. And the way that he used to go crazy with his brand was he used to freestyle in his car with his brand on.
Crazy. Yeah.
And it's getting hundreds and thousands and millions of views.
Crazy.
And it's selling the shirt indirectly. It's not like I'm selling you nothing, but
I get it.
So many eyes are seeing it, so it's gonna result in sales.
Yeah.
And so I bit that. I totally bit that. It was just, when I started my brand, I started doing freestyles, and I always had make sure that I'm holding them, making sure that brand is showing, and it started help it get eyes, because other than that, you got to run ads. But that was like our cheat code to running ads is
That's fire.
put it freestyle, and the freestyle is gonna go viral.
Killed it.
And then and we kind of backdoored the whole system, and it's just been it's been on the up and up.
I love it, man.
Ever since then.
Translee Grey, man. Let them know. Album, Even.biz, everything coming up, man. Talk to him, man.
Come on, man. The new project, I Know We Ain't Tripping, is live right now on Even.biz. Make sure you follow us on the gram, Translee and Grey. That's the letter N, Grey. Official Grey Music.
Mine is at Translee on all platforms. And also, last year, we did our collab brand. So we got Plant Some Peace.
Oh, come on now.
I mean, plant-based dripping, inner peace, outer glow. So Plant Some Peace. We took a word from his and a word from mine. Plant Some Peace. And we did, shout out to Sherrod over at God Is Dope.
Yes, man.
He learned a lot from him last year. And one of the main things I learned from him was to, because when we decided we were gonna do the collab brand, we was just gonna do like t-shirts for like $20 or something like that.
Yeah.
And Sherrod convinced us to do it for free, drop them for free. And it sounds crazy. And
I remember that day.
yeah, and I didn't think you was gonna go for it. But he's such a believer in what Sherrod does. He was like, bro, if Sherrod said do it, Sherrod created a $100 million company off God Is Dope.
Crazy.
So it's like, if he said do it, do it. And then, you know, you kind of charge for the shipping. So the free tee is kind of what, you know, kind of gets everybody's attention.
Right.
And then you kind of make your money a little bit on the back end with the shipping.
Wow.
Man, we did that, and last year it kind of helped the brand of Plant Some Peace take off immediately.
Yeah.
You know, like so now we got 3 brands on our hands that we're trying to juggle. But it helps us because, you know, of course, a lot of people know I have a situation with Grand Hustle.
Right.
Which isn't really what it used to be, you know, and so whenever you're independent artists, especially me and Grey, like me and Grey together don't have any type of deal. We said we're gonna give ourselves a deal. Like we don't want to be bound to nobody else's giving us anything. So running our merch brands, main thing is about the inspiration of it, but close behind it is about funding our endeavors, you know what I mean, and not having to go to other people for it.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason why we need y'all support on these brands too. Is to help if y'all like what y'all hear, to keep, you know, keep supporting, you know.
Yes, sir.
And through those skits that we did, I don't even want to let the cat out the bag yet, but we're working on a pretty cool situation with a pretty dope media company to help keep producing those storyline skits, because we're the I feel like nobody can do it like how we do it.
Crazy.
So look forward to that soon. We'll tell you about it off.
Well, we're gonna do a part 2. We're gonna do a part 2.
Whenever,
off camera, yeah.
Whenever it's official, then we'll come back
official.
come back and talk about it.
Man, man, y'all are inspiration. Y'all super creative brothers, man. Y'all keep doing. You know, y'all definitely coming back, because I love the conversation. I love the education and inspiration.
Thank you,
man. You know, Translee and Grey, man. Give it up, man. You see what it is.
Shout out to
man.
TrendsetterSense too, man.
Let's go.
For sure.
Translee and Grey, TrendsetterSense is Rhythm and Streets.
Trendsetter.